One physiological response important in human survival and thus in human evolution is the fight or flight response. This is triggered by neurotransmitter chemicals in the brain upon some stimulus, like a predator attack or being frightened by a predator. The chemicals that are released are epinephrine, which is also called adrenaline, and also norepinephrine, which is called noradrenaline. These will bind to the adrenergic receptor in the body and lead to the fight or flight physiological response. What results in the response is two things. There's an increase in cardiovascular activity, and this allows for increased blood flow to the muscles. There's also a raising of the amount of energy, the glucose in the blood, so that will help with this cardiovascular response. There's more blood, there's more energy in the blood, and that will together allow for fight or flight. Epinephrine or adrenaline is a hormone naturally produced in the body. So this is the structure of it. The functional groups that are present on this structure: 3 alcohol groups on a benzene ring. Here's the 3 alcohol groups, 1, 2, 3. And then there's an amine group. So this is a nitrogen, which has a carbon on either side, so that makes it a secondary amine. There's 2 carbons. And this amine group is the reason for this being epinephrine. The INE name ending indicates that there's an amine group. Though there are other functional groups in here, the most important part about this is this presence of the nitrogen, the amine group. Nitrogen amine group is present in a lot of other stimulants that affect the central nervous system. So epinephrine is just one. There's also caffeine, nicotine. These are legal stimulants, legal drugs. And then there's amphetamine, methamphetamine, and cocaine. Now we're getting into the illicit and illegal drug categories, but these are also INE name ending. They all have the INE name ending, which means all these stimulants have this functional group, the amine functional group, or just having a nitrogen present. So this is the structure of caffeine, and there are 4 nitrogens. There's also 2 ketone functional groups. This is ephedrine, pseudoephedrine, and methamphetamine. So these all have a similar structure, which is a benzene ring with a hydrocarbon chain, and on that hydrocarbon chain there's going to be an amine group. So ephedrine is a stimulant that is a cold medication. It can be used for illicit uses, but legally it's a cold medication and sold over the counter. This has also a alcohol group, that OH group, in addition to the benzene ring and the amine. Pseudoephedrine is another amine stimulant. So there's the benzene ring and the amine, and also this alcohol group. This is methamphetamine. Now we're getting into the illicit drugs, and methamphetamine synthesized here from precursors like ephedrine and pseudoephedrine, which is why these over-the-counter drugs are tightly regulated. You can't just get them, you have to request them or be prescribed. This has a similar structure. It's got the benzene ring with an amine group. Some of these work slightly differently. They are generally all stimulants.